Ba Weep Grana Weep Mini Bong. We have a very, very special episode for you today on the Justin Network. Today we will not only be reviewing one or two, but three figures. Awesome, okay. So these are very special figures. I want to give a shout out to my family, my mom Angel, my sister Ashley Bell, stepdad Troy. They got these for me so I could do a video on them. They got them from Dollar General at a very nice price. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, what are these? I don't actually know what these are, so I had to do some research on them to figure out what they are. So this is called the Transformers Authentic line. It is a kid-oriented toy line comprising of simple figures developed for discount markets, aka Dollar General, things like that, Family Dollar, that kind of stuff. This line initially started in 2017, and we have Wheeljack, who I believe is from Wave 5, Bumblebee was from Wave 1, and then Megatron was from the second wave of this series. This is going to be a very special bonus type episode here on the channel, where we're going to have more than one Transformer getting reviewed for the first time ever. We've never done more than one figure in the same video, but here we are going to be breaking it open and doing it. Let's go ahead and get these bad boys open so we can see what we're working with. Alright, here we go. We got them all out of the box and we will start breaking these guys down. They do feel pretty good, not too cheap or anything like that. It feels like pretty solid plastic. They don't have like a weird knockoff feel to them or anything like that, which they shouldn't. I mean, this is official Hasbro product. This is not some knockoff third-party thing. This is actually made by Hasbro. We'll just go ahead and push these guys to the side and start working on Bumblebee here first. See what we've got here. He's got some movement there in the shoulder. He will turn 360. Be careful. I don't think it's going to be so easy that these pieces are going to just break right off or anything if they get caught, but it might. It kind of feels like it could. You've got to turn right here on the bicep. He's going to be able to, I guess that's more of an elbow turn, huh? He's going to be able to do that. He can turn that all the way around as well. No spin there, but he does have holes there to put a weapon. You know, same on both sides. He doesn't really have a foot, but he does have a knee turn here because that's part of his transformation. His legs do not move at all besides right there. That's a solid piece all right there. The back is pretty empty. I mean, there's not a lot going on there, but that's all right. No big deal. Like I said, this is made for kids that, you know, don't necessarily have the ability to play with a full-fledged action figure without it being broken and things like that. So this is definitely for your younger fans. His head does spin around 360, and it's a pretty good looking head sculpt, I would say. I mean, it's got a solid look to it. It's the G1 looking instead of the new, more modern Bumblebee look. He's got that there. The Autobot symbol. It's raised up. It doesn't feel like it's a stick or anything. It looks like and feels like it's actually painted on. But yeah, that's pretty nifty. I like that. That's sweet. He does have a little bit of a hard time standing up. You got to lean him forward just a little bit. Let's go ahead and look at Wheeljack here, Autobot Scientist. So his is going to be very similar, spinning right there, spin right there at the elbow. He does have his peg holes right here. They're smaller size than, as you can see, there's smaller size there than Bumblebee's. He's got his cannon right here. That does come off and will fit in his hand. That's pretty cool. That's definitely pretty cool. And it's funny. He's feeling a little looser than Bumblebee, and I'll tell you why. He's got actual feet here that will turn all the way around. They're gonna be able to do a lot of different movements. They're in that ball and socket, so it looks like it could easily pop out. So just be careful with that when they're playing with it. It should be an easy fix even if it does. But he's got places here to put his blaster on either side. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze in there, which is good. So it's going to stay for a kid playing with it. It won't be as easy to lose. His back here, he's got his tail fins from the car mode that are going to spin, give them that wing look that G1 Wheeljack did have. I do like that all three of these, specifically Wheeljack and even Bumblebee to a degree, do look a lot like their G1 counterparts, but specifically Wheeljack here. His legs, they are going to actually move. That's probably because, like I said, it's just the newer wave. It came out more recently than Megatron or Bumblebee did. But yeah, he's going to be able to do those kicks like that. He does not turn at the knee or anything like that. Actually, he does. He's got a knee turn. Okay, that's part of his transformation, so he can kick all the way like that, do that up, sharp knee kick or anything like that. Okay, and that's a really tight joint, so that's good. Awesome. He's got quite a bit of articulation for a figure of this price and a younger kid's toy. Can he do it? Is he going to be...
Not again.
Oh, see, that will come in and out pretty easily. It looks like there's a little bit of stress marks. I don't know if you can see that around this right here. But see, it is also just going to easily pop right back in. He is going to be able to do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That hurts me just looking at it.
And he can't... Oh, see, they pop off very easy. That one's got some stress marks on it too, if you can see that. But they will pop back on easily. If he doesn't have his cannon, he probably can do a full T-pose. Could the Bumblebee do? Nah, see, Bumblebee can't do the full T-pose. He's got a lot more movement in his arms than Bumblebee do around the shoulders because of Bumblebee's transformation. He's got a pretty good face sculpt there as well. I like that a lot. Very, very G1 accurate. Wheeljack also has 360 spin there on his head. Now it's time for the Decepticon leader, Megatron. So Megatron does have this blaster here that comes on and off. It can plug in right there on either arm. It will fit in his hand. It looks like, yeah, it's got those on both ends. Those little pegs there. Okay, but okay, I'm glad I checked that and didn't just say it will not go into his hands. The peg is smaller than the hole on his hands. Interesting. Little bit of a oversight by Hasbro there. They should have made him the same size as this because it fits perfectly into his holes on the side of his arm. But he's going to be able to do that right there at the elbow. He's got about the same movement and ability to wiggle around there with his arm like Bumblebee did. His legs are movable, more like Wheeljack's. They got that knee, yeah, they got that whole thing going on like Wheeljack. But the feet actually will not have all that movement that Wheeljack's did. It just spin, that's all it's going to do is spin out to the side like that. He can't do any kind of T-pose. How about we meet in the middle and do a... Oh, look, he's got a spin right there. I didn't even notice that. Does Wheeljack have the spin on his? He does not. But Megatron does have a spin right there at his knee where it will spin all the way around. That's sweet. Okay. He can do a full Jean-Claude Van... no, he can't. Oh, yeah. There we go. Well, not exactly because his legs are sideways. But yeah, technically... Yes, this is a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah, there are a little bit of stress marks around, so just be careful around those balls and joints. There definitely could be something that breaks off around there, but I think this is going to be a great, inexpensive toy for a kid. You know what I mean? His head sculpt, definitely cartoony looking, but it is G1 accurate, and this opens up, which is very interesting. Bumblebee... Wheeljack, neither of them had anything like that, but Megatron's does. I wonder if that's part of a transformation or what's going on there, because it does fit in pretty good and it comes loose pretty good, but see, it's not going to fall out, so that's good. His back, it's pretty simplistic looking, a little better than Bumblebee's. Wheeljack's, I would say it's a little better than both of them, maybe. It's got, well, I don't know, it's got more holes and empty spots like that than either of them do, but this one's very basic looking. This one's got a good mixture, I guess, of the two. So Megatron cannot spin his head 360. He's got a lot of different looking he can do. but because of the way his shoulders work, it will not do it. But he does have a 360 spin at the waist. It's part of his transformation, but isn't that pretty cool for a figure at this price? So wow, okay. Yeah, this has been awesome. I'm very excited about this so far. This is definitely, like, if I had a young kid or something, it's like, hey dad, I want to get some Transformers like you. This is so far an easy answer for that, in my opinion. And they look good. That's the big thing, especially Wheeljack, man. There's not a lot of good Wheeljack figures right now that look G1 accurate. This does. And like I said, they don't even really feel like flimsy or cheap. They feel like legit plastic, like you would on some of the other figures.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Another thing is, they're taller than a lot of the other figures we've looked at on this channel, which is good for the younger kids. You know, they need the bigger pieces and things like that. It's better, more fun for them to play with. And Wheeljack is coming in at 7 inches. Megatron's coming in at a little over, but just because of his head being taller, but he's pretty much the same. And Bumblebee's gonna be actually slightly under 7. He's actually a little shorter, which is accurate. Bumblebee's one of the smaller Transformers. And when you get them close together, you can tell, see, Bumblebee's definitely shorter. And what's funny is I didn't even realize that until I started measuring them up. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get them transformed, see what's going on with those alt modes. And here they all are. All of them in their alt mode. So, Wheeljack was probably the hardest of the bunch, but I wouldn't call any of them hard. They were definitely made for younger audiences. You can tell it's supposed to be an easy transformation. The only problem was these parts don't want to stay in as well. As you could see, it was a little bit of a problem trying to get this just into this part where it's like a car. I got all the pieces like into place. It was just getting them to want to come together and stay together. But overall, that's a good looking sports car race car type. It looks good. It's got good colors. From the side, it's got a nice little profile going on with it. Even the bottom doesn't look too awful bad. Let's give it a nice little roll test. Yeah, you got great roll on these tires. That's going to be better than a lot of your bigger figures, or should I say more expensive figures. As you can see, Wheeljack's blaster will go on top, so he's got some weapon storage there for his gun. That's pretty nice. I'm glad they included that. It's going to be good for keeping up with that with the little ones, you know what I'm saying? Then Bumblebee here, you saw Bumblebee was so incredibly easy to transform. It was pretty much, what, 2 steps, 1 step, whatever. It was so easy. The wheels do spin, not quite as good as Wheeljack's.
Let's try that again.
Doesn't have anything here over the windows. He's got a window there, got blue, and this is not G1 accurate car. You know, this is like his newer version a little bit. It's really just a yellow car. They were like, we can do it easy and get him into a yellow car, so they did it. On the bottom, he's just kind of there. I guess you could spin this so you wouldn't see his face there on the bottom. He doesn't have any Autobot symbol on the top, but overall not bad. He's got an okay roll. See, that wants to come apart a little bit right in there. Doesn't want to stay super together, but you get what you pay for. I mean, it's not bad at all for the price. And all 3 of these I think would be a good first Transformer for somebody. But yeah, it's not going to roll nearly as good as Wheeljack did. And then we got our tank Megatron, not G1 accurate, but you know, they're not going to make toy guns anymore. He's going to transform into a tank like he does in newer days. It's a pretty good looking tank. I was actually impressed at first. I was like, oh, this is not wanting to stay together. And it's got some wiggles going on.
Fruit salad, yummy, yummy.
As you can see, as I'm just barely touching it, the stuff is moving a little bit. It's got a nice look to it, I will say. I thought that was pretty cool. If you saw that, his hands spin and he's got the holes on the inside to hold his gun like that to make it the tank. I thought that was actually pretty cool overall there. But yeah, he's got little wheels on the bottom. Is he gonna? Yeah, he's. See, you can hear him spinning, but I think it's catching just because, as you can see, it's not a perfectly flat tank. So they're just catching and not wanting to exactly roll. But I mean, he's got wheels there. They attempted. I appreciate that. The profiles there of him. He's not bad looking at all, really. Does he have his Decepticon? Yeah, you can see the Decepticon symbol right there. But overall, man, these are not bad at all. Let's go ahead and measure them out here. Wheeljack in his car mode is going to be about 6, maybe over slightly 6 1/4 inches. From there to there, he's going to be about just under 3.5. Bumblebee from tip to tip is going to be about 5 3/4. That way he's going to be slightly under 2.5, maybe right at 2.5. Megatron from the end to the end, not counting the guns, going to be 4.5. Counting his blaster there, it's going to be just under 5 1/4. And his width from the end of one foot to the other is going to be about right at 3 inches. The Wheeljack might be my favorite one. It's good, and I don't think it's just because it's newer. I just think it looks very accurate. But let's go ahead and transform them back. Wrap up this video. Alright, and one more thing I wanted to do was get a size comparison so you can see how much bigger these are than ones we've used recently on the channel. Even taller than AOIE Mech Nemesis Prime here. They're pretty close. The angle doesn't give that greatly. But see, they're just barely gonna be taller. And actually, Bumblebee's probably shorter in technicality there. Alright, now it's time for the rankings. And yes, I am gonna rank all 3 of these bad boys. Starting off with functionality. Remember, with functionality, that's gonna be articulation, the accessories, accessory storage, all that type of stuff. So I'm going to start off with Bumblebee, giving him a 1. He has little to no posing, not a whole lot of articulation. For what it is, it's not bad articulation wise, I would say. But I mean, this is the only pose you've got for him. You can put his arms up, but yeah, I gotta go with like a 1 for the articulation and functionality overall. For Megatron, I gave him a 3. He does have a little bit more ability to pose. He's got the accessories with the accessory storage and such there. And with Wheeljack, I gave him a 3 as well. I thought he was pretty equal to Megatron. Some of his movement was pretty similar. I could maybe even boost Megatron above him just a smidge. I think the feet is what keeps him the same. He's got that advantage on Megatron's feet, but Megatron...
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me!
...can spin around the waist completely. Next up, we have transformation. That's going to be how easy, creative it was for each figure to transform. I didn't actually realize this when I was initially opening the box. I wasn't paying attention. They do, in fact, have their instructions on the back of the box. But overall, I'm going to give Bumblebee a 5. And it's not because it's creative. It's literally all these points are just because of how easy he is. I mean, it was so simple. You saw it. It took me 2 seconds. Megatron got a 4. It was kind of creative. I was very impressed where they decided to use these 2 holes on each side to fit his gun. I thought that was cool. The tank didn't look too bad either overall. With Wheeljack, I also gave him a 4. I thought him and Megatron's, they were both about equal in how hard they were to do. I thought in creativity, they were pretty equal. Wheeljack had a nice move here where we put this, the head goes under it, and this comes out. I thought that was kind of creative, the way they did that, the way they did his feet and such. Then when it came to appearance, remember that's likeness to character, how well the robot in alt mode looks. I had a little bit of a hard time with this one, because like I said, I think all 3 of these figures are really good for what they are. They're a cheap easy to mess around with toy for a kid. It's like a first Transformer. This is great. I think they really do what they're supposed to be doing well. So I want you to take that with a grain of salt when I give them these numbers. I think all these numbers could be taken with a grain of salt because I think all three of them do pretty well what they're made for, what they're supposed to be doing. But I can't go and give them numbers that equals up to, you know, some of the greats on this channel, like our friend Perceptor 86 Studio Series here. But starting out with appearance on Wheeljack, we gave him a 5. I think that was the best one overall in appearance. I think overall Wheeljack was my favorite one here because it does look so much like the G1. And there's not a whole lot of Wheeljack toys out there that actually look like his original G1 and do it decently well. Megatron here got a 3. Obviously, there's lots of spots here that don't look great on him. His back didn't look terrible. His tank looked pretty solid. Wasn't the best. You could still just see 2 arms sitting there on the top of him, so I gave him a 3. Bumblebee got the short end. He got a 2. And I will say, it's not necessarily about his robot mode. His robot mode is looking pretty good here, right? It's not terrible at all, but you saw his car mode. It was very, very, very underwhelming. Didn't even have actual windows. It was just holes. There was no Autobot symbol. If you just saw it, you would have no idea it was a Transformer toy. So yeah, overall, these toys are not bad at all. They're great for what they're supposed to be. Each one of them kind of has their own thing that they excelled in. But yeah, this was cool. This was a fun video. Did you guys like it? Let me know. Anyways, guys, I just want to say that I appreciate the continued support. This is so fun to do. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am making it. Please like, please subscribe, and just keep on coming back because we're going to keep on making these videos. Till all are one, peace.